Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rocket League Island Superstars. Now, in its 10th season, been going all the way since 2019. We're coming up to the 5-year anniversary of this tournament. My name is Rez, and I have had the pleasure of taking the lead of RLIS for the last couple of seasons. But my reign of terror has come to an end, so in a bit of a passing of the torch moment, I will be handing off the hosting duties to our lovely new admin for RLIS this season, Yummy Uranium. Yummy, take us away.
Thank you very, very much, Rez, and thank you for all the seasons of hard work you put in, and the bot that we've got that helps us so much every season. It's a great resource. And I'm very excited to be adminning this season. It's been great crack already doing the draft. I'm delighted to announce that we got every Irish person who signed up drafted. It was unfortunately two non-Irish people who didn't make it. But we are delighted to announce that for this season, we have, for the first time ever, got 6 tiers. We got 96 players signed up. And the 2 bottom tiers are going to be 4 orgs big. So how this will work is we've got Rising Star, and below that we've made a new tier called Proto Star, and we'll have the overall standings for the managers be decided by their best 5 tiers, because we had to have 2 managers be two managers have a team in every single tier, and the prize pool breakdown. I'm excited to announce that we've got €315 as the total prize pool. We've got €90 for superstars, €75 for all star, €60 for shooting star, €45 for ascending star, €30 for rising star, and €15 for proto star. So there's money on the board for everyone, which, as a very bad player, I am very happy to be able to say that. And thank you very much for LTX Academy Coaching for sponsoring this season. Run by our own LTX Sam. You can get coaching to help you improve at Rocket League. LTX Academy has helped a lot of players already, all the way as low as Diamond up to SSLs. Everyone needs coaching. Helps a lot. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into, before we see the draft, we're going to ask a few of the managers what they think going into this season, beginning with our lovely admin, Rory. Rory, what were your expectations going into the season? Did you think that you were going to stay on top like you did last season, or were you going to be a little cautious and think that
I do appreciate you bringing up that I did in fact win league play last season, just in case people forgot about that. But no, I think the expectations for this season have to be based across all of my seasons so far, which is I generally don't have the best record. Last season, we'll have to see if last season was the exception or if that could be a new norm. So I think right now I want to set it to just not finish last, keep the bar low and just see how I go.
That's good. Lofty ambitions there for Rory. We'll throw now to Tomster, our newest manager, joining us as head of Celtic Tigers. Tom, what do you think? How much damage will you do in your first season?
I suppose I'm looking forward to it. I think a lot of my picks are very good anyway, and I'm happy with a lot of them. I'd say I'd be disappointed if I didn't finish top 3. Anyway, I know that's probably a bit high, but I definitely think everything is doable.
That's good. That's good. I'll throw now to High Kings manager D Lynch. Are you excited for this season? How well do you think you'll do?
I'm very, very excited. I think I have some incredibly strong teams. If I don't win a tier in one of my teams, I think it could be considered throwing. But what's going to be the real story that everyone will love his the villain arc of Protostar there. You know what I mean? But I'll leave that as a surprise.
Exciting stuff indeed. Cans, finally, what are you looking forward to the most in this season?
Well, first, looking forward to finishing my spice box. Anyway, it's very delicious. I say every season I always go get every team to playoffs and everything else is a bonus. I've won all the stuff early on in the seasons in RLIS, so like last season was a bit of a disappointment for the org, and we're just looking to do a bit of damage and try and challenge for one tier at least. Anyway.
Very good. Unfortunately, two managers aren't with us today, but I did ask Large Grady himself, and he said that he loves watching how the season unfolds, especially when people predict the team will do terribly, only for them to turn around and win their tier, leaving everyone surprised. And the unpredictability is his favorite thing about RLIS, along with the drama. Although he's responsible, I think, for stirring some of that up now. And Ryan, manager of the Saints, is not with us either. And he said that he loved the buzz around the server before and during RLIS. He thinks it's the biggest and best event that RLI run, and I would agree with him. And he's looking forward to see how everyone meshes together and who comes out on top. So, without further ado, I think we should jump straight into Protostar. Our newest draft tier. We can see that it is being managed. 4 teams are Ryan, Cans, D-Lynch, and Grady. And very, very excited to see how this works. We will begin with the first round of picks, and we'll talk about a few of the players, ask a few of the managers, what they were thinking, what the thought process was. Beginning with Dave Forehead, and then Ben for Banshees, Ethan for Hikings, he's finally been drafted, and Ducky for Irish Giants by Grady. Now, Ryan isn't here to be questioned about his Dave Forehead pick, unfortunately, so I will have to ask D-Lynch, what are your thoughts on picking Ethan up for his first season of RLIS?
You know what? I had a few question marks potentially thrown at me by this pick of Ethan. But what I will have to say, the commitment's the cause for Ethan. He has the commitment. He has the passion. He has the drive. And I look, personally, this tier isn't going to be super strong in terms of my knowledge. There's a lot of players in this tier where you don't know who the people are. There's some new time faces to RLI. And Ethan, he's always around. Everyone knows him. He's really active. And I think activity is definitely something that will go a long way, especially in this Protostar tier.
Fair enough, yes. And certainly quite a talkative member of RLI. We have a lot of players to get through, so I'm conscious that we'll need to have a good clip about us. So we'll go on to the second round for Protostar, beginning over with Irish Giants, picking up Large Ryan. Large Grady gets another large person added. Spiritum for High Kings, Jaffa for the Banshees, and Kotzi for the Saints. Rob, what do you think about Ducky and Large Ryan being picked up by Large Grady himself? A fitting pick for the Irish Giants, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Ducky is going to embarrass Dave Forehead. He already embarrasses Ethan. I have no idea who Bev is, but with a name like that, probably not going to go very far. Large Ryan,
Wow.
look, I have no idea. Kotzi spends too much time in the pub, so yeah, probably not going to be too good either. Jaffa, fake Jaffa, and Spiritum, I have no idea who that is. Is that one of Magic's friends? Probably kind of real. So
Wow.
yeah, I'd say Large Grady here has already won this tier. Yeah.
Conclusive answer there from our lovely admin. We'll go ahead now to the final round of Protostar. We'll see who rounds it all out. For the Saints, we have Dinner 1011. For the Banshees, we have J Fang 42. For High Kings, we have Brain Chief. And finally, for the Irish Giants, we have Ronan. I believe Ronan teamed with Pudding to take down. Who's it? Help me. Someone. Who was it? We were talking about in general earlier. But Ronan certainly a sleeper pick. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning last night and was told someone had just left the server. So
I can't help you,
Ronan,
but I can tell you that yeah, there was a last minute change here to the draft because someone pulled out literally at the last second, but they didn't actually pull out. They left the server, so Yummy had to do some last minute scrambling today. So props to Yummy for getting that one sorted. Yeah.
I was typical, I suppose. I should have expected it going into something like RLIS. But yeah, some funny teams, if not maybe quite skillful. But it is Protostar after all. We need to let them develop. Cans, I'll come to you and talk. What were your thoughts picking up some of these players?
To be honest, I had no goddamn clue what I was doing. I can't wait to see if to see a stream of this tier. I think it's going to be absolute like hilarious to watch. Like, but I do think each of these players will enjoy their time. Like, especially for the people who's it's their first season, they might know what to expect. With the format and all that. But I kind of in my heart, I'm kind of half rooting for Ryan's team because I love Forehead so much.
Yeah.
So if we don't win, like, I hope Forehead wins because that lad hasn't won a thing since ever, did he? I don't think he has. But
He has a LAN win, Cans. That's
He has
more
a
than me and you.
Oh my god! Well, to be honest, he didn't win a LAN with me, but he basically won. You know, he carried me in one of those twos LANs. So, you know, I hope he does well. But yeah, I just can't wait to see these players in action.
Yeah. Well, Forehead, a player close to all of our hearts. The real OG. That is Protostar, and we will move on now to Rising Star, a classic of RLIS. Managed by Banshees. Or sorry, not managed. The four orgs are Banshees, Wolfhounds, Celtic Tigers, and Saints. And we have Banshees, King of Casual, first pick for the Wolfhounds. We have myself, thank you, Rory. For the Celtic Tigers, Tom picked up but Snorkeler 54, and the Saints picked up Junior's Voyage. Now, Rob, I believe you know Junior's Voyage. Is he? I don't know anything about him, but
Junior is an OG of the community, actually. He's been around since 2017. He was at the first ever LAN, actually came runner-up at that LAN, so he's been around a very long time. He disappeared for a while. Still seems to have the ones game lockdown. He loves a demo. Not sure if that's Ryan's thing. Is that Kansas thing? No, that's D Lynch's thing. It's probably the wrong org, but you know what? Yeah, look, Junior's a good first round pick, I think. He has the ones in lockdown. He'll be decent. I think Ryan's made a savvy pick there, to be honest.
yeah, fair enough. We move on to the second round of picks in Rising Star. The Saints picking up John Insane, or John ZR. Celtic Tigers picks up Little Dutch Boy. For Wolfhounds, joining me is CK, a fellow Spice Bag Academy member, and Banshees picks up Touch. Now, Rory, I want to ask you, what were your thoughts in putting such a dangerous combination of myself and CK together?
Well, to be honest, we're just going for vibes, really. Like, I know yourself and CK are really good friends, so you know you've got the chemistry built up over I don't know how many years at this point. So, you know that could be exactly what we need. You know, some of these lads might never have played together, whereas you know you two, you know exactly how you play. Like even just recently, I know you've been like grinding twos together. So I just think that was a duo that just made sense, really.
Does make sense. So we move on now to the third round. The Banshees picks up Phil, the dangerous gamer himself, and rounding out the Wolfhounds is Melty Crispy. Celtic Tigers picks up Septic, and the Saints pick up McNamee. Some new names, some old names here. Cans, run me through that team there now, because I like the look of King of Casual, and Dangerous Gamer is an old teammate of mine.
Yeah, with Phil, like I know I've heard like he hasn't played a game in a while, but you know I've picked him many times before on the Banshees. So he's he's a good egg to the org, nice servant, and he can do a bit of damage if he wants to. When I saw the kind of casual or the kind of angles is what I call him, like I instantly picked him up. There was no question about it. I love the man to death. And he's actually, a very, very good player for this tier. Along now with touch, I haven't seen him like in person playing, but I've heard good things, of him down in Champ. I think that's where he is. But and decent ranks on the sheet as well. So I think that's a very strong duo there that could really do damage in trees especially, which obviously I'm very hopeful.
That's good logic there. I can confirm that Cans did spam me in all caps when it came to his turn with "Give me the King of Angles," and I was very happy to oblige him. We move now from Rising Star up to Ascending Star. Now we have the full 6 orgs from now on. We start now with Celtic Tigers. Tom picked up Taste Rainbows. The streets will remember Taste. The Banshees managed to pick up Monkey. High Kings picked up Keo. Wolfhounds picked up Mali. Irish Giants picked up Rad. And the Saints picked up Certs. Now, Tom, run me through that pick of Taste Rainbows. What do you expect to see from the big man himself?
I think a lot of people might think it's, like a weirder pick out of everybody else there in the first round, but I disagree. Taste has won Rising Star, so he's a natural winner, someone who I wanted to pick. I feel like it was the right pick for me, given that I know him the best out of all the players there, and I think he's really underrated. There was a time in, I think, 2022 when Taste was playing his best Rocket League, and I think if we see it again this season, Ascending Star could definitely be one.
Yeah, I do agree. Having played with Taste, he has a high enough ceiling. But I haven't played Championship now, so I don't know what he's like at the minute. But we move on now to Ascending Star. The Saints picked up Vapo. Irish Giants picked up Saturday. Wolfhounds picked up Artemis. High Kings picked up Patkar. Banshees picked up Kevster. Celtic Tigers picked up Ori. Now, Cans, do you think that Kev pick will be able to 1v3 Ascending Star?
Well, it depends if he's around. I don't. It's like it's a gamble. It's a gamble. Looking at the availability of him, but I'm praying that he can 1v3, but I doubt it. To be all honesty with you, Yomi. This isn't proper champ like this isn't like Champ 6 fans now. This is the real stuff. Like this is RLIS. Like
I see. Right. The tier where the real players.
Plus, he's from Waterford, so he's probably a certified bottler.
Oh well.
Apologies.
We move on. Well, we move on now to the third round of picks. Celtic Tigers picked up Wrench. Banshees picked up Ethan Littlewood. High Kings picked up Trinity. Wolfhounds picked up Rory, the manager, and Irish Giants picked up Pathological, and the Saints picked up Flood. Now, I wish Grady was here that I could talk about that Pathological pick. He's not here. I wish Ryan was here that I could talk about the fellow Donegal man of both myself and Ryan, Big Man Flood. But no, instead we'll have to talk about Rory. Rory, why did you think that you were the pick here over people like Pat?
Well, I had to think about a bit of team chemistry here. I've put Artemis through a lot in the last couple of seasons, and since I'm picking him again, I thought I might as well let him give out to me a little bit. Let him give it back to me. But also, having a look at the players that were left at this point, I didn't see a lot of other options where I would have said, oh, I'd pick this person instead of myself. So I thought, you know what, we'll try it, see how it goes.
Fair enough. Well, that rounds out Ascending Star, and we move on now to Shooting Star, where Wolfhounds was first pick, and Moody was picked up first. Irish Giants picked up JTGM, a collegiate player. Celtic Tigers picked up Rowan. The Saints picked up Jezikel. High Kings picked up Evoke. And the Banshees picked up the big man himself, Enrong. Now, Dave, run me through this Evoke pick. Do you think Evoke will be able to keep the mental? Because he is a very strong player on his day.
Evoke, we all know the capabilities he has. I think if this was last season or the season before, he was a superstar player for a brief period of time before incidents happened. But I think if you look at it compared to everyone around him, maybe a bit later, a bit earlier, Evoke, especially with some of the team I've paired with him, I think the mental will be there. He'll be nice, calm. He'll have vibes, and we all know how good he is, and especially if he plays a bit, he can do some serious damage, especially compared to some other players in this year.
Fair enough. Now we move on to the second round. Banshees picked up Redport, fellow Aviators member. High Kings picked up Sark. The Saints picked up Fassbender. Celtic Tigers picked up AO. Irish Giants picked up Large Grady himself. And Wolfhounds picked up Bread. Now, Rob, what do you think about this Banshees team that's forming up here? You and Redport being put together. Is that spicy? Is that a strong team? What are your thoughts?
I love Redport with all my heart, but I played RLIS to get away from this fucker, like, and I'm stuck with him. Cans has no idea. Cans just doesn't know how to like put teams together at all. And he's also put me in the first round here. I can't ones. I can't twos. Cans is just trying to get sacked. I think he's actually trying to get sacked. He's trying to like get rid of. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea how to assess any of these. If I was to look at a team that would be decent straight away, actually, I have no idea, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say any of the second round picks are particularly scary, but yeah, I do agree with was it D-Lynch they're talking about Evoke. He might be a questionable person, but he's a savage player, and he still has it, even from playing 1 or 2 championship as we saw. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Moody's like in the threes. Jez, he can be hot or cold. If Jez wakes up and he's playing on fire, he can be a very good player too. And JTGM, I have no idea. But yeah, look, our team, it's going to be fun. Yeah, wait until we see the last round.
Certainly interesting. Cans, do you have any response to that? Why can you justify this pick of Rob and Redport?
My main reason was so they can just have more time to collaborate together for the future podcast episodes coming up, like, so they can have a chat while they're just smashing people in trees or whatever, and then while our third is playing, one's probably getting hammered, then they can just continue to bounce off each other. No, I think I know ones and twos we might be a bit weak, well, especially in the ones, but that trees wins your titles. So in my mind, so that's what I was going for. And if we can snag a few twos and ones along the way, then it's an extra bonus.
Strong words. Now we move on to the third round. Wolfhounds picked up Chef. Irish Giants picked up Krolic. Celtic Tigers picked up Magic. The Saints picked up John, aka Always. High Kings picked up Souls. And to round out, Banshees picked up Mem or Memphor. Some third round pick there. Rez, do you want to talk about the Saints at all, or you just want to stay quiet for the rest of the stream?
I think the Saints has a very interesting setup to this roster. I mean, Vass has been around for absolutely forever. In fact, he played in all of the first 5 seasons of RLIS all the way back in 2019 and 2020. So he is a real veteran of the scene. He knows what you need to do to win RLIS. You need to be good, not just at the threes, but also at the twos and the ones. And I think in combination with Vass and John being a fairly good threes player in his own right, I think that Saints team is actually looking very dangerous. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if I see another team in this tier of really being able to compete. I think that duo of Jez and Fast will probably win all the 2s games they play. I think in 3s they'll be a force. I can't see many teams beating them in 3s, so I think Ryan's had a bit of a blinder in Shooting Star. It's looking good for the Saints.
It's typical of, I believe, the most decorated manager in history. I would have to check that before saying conclusively. But anyway, we'll move now on from Shooting Star up to All-Star, the penultimate tier. Irish Giants, led by Large Grady, made sure to pick up Epics. Wolfhounds, led by Rory, picked up Luca. The Saints picked up Freeze. The Banshees picked up Cans himself. And the High Kings picked up Johnny. Celtic Tigers picked up Ryan 404. Cans, what are your thoughts on being first round All-Star rather than in Superstar?
Happy as Larry. I'm too old and too slow now for a Superstar now. It's getting to my head, and it's making me become senile now. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've won it once or twice. That's good enough. Like just put me down to where I belong. I am scared though because Freeze is. I think you probably can make a statement that he could possibly sneak his way into third round Superstar because I do really rate Freeze, and I think people in this tier need to be scared of him. Like I think, he'll do some damage. But I'll just play away and just be confident and see where it goes.
Pure vibes as always from Cans.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the second round. Estonian Shark was picked up by the Celtic Tigers. High Kings picked up Kismet. The Banshees picked up No One Knows Nova, fellow moderator, and the Saints picked up Ryton, I think. Yeah. Orion, sorry. Wolfhounds picked up LTX Sam. And Irish Giants picked up Solington, I think. Or Solington. That's the username now. I'll need to check what. Oh, yeah, that's Souza. That's correct. Yeah. So, who do we talk about here? Tom, let me throw to you now. Ryan 404 and Estonian Shark. What are your thoughts on these two as a pair?
Ryan 404 being left to the last pick of the first round, I think, is criminal. I'd say he brings a lot more to the table than people think. And Estonian Shark as well. I've had him in my twos lobbies, so I've seen him play, and he's pretty savage, all right. I think with that duo paired with who you're going to see in my third round, I think I've probably won this tier.
Oh, big words. Well, let us wait no longer for the third tier, or the third round. Irish Giants picked up a Techno Season. Wolfhounds picked up Zexel 99. The Saints picked up Cookie. The Banshees picked up Captain Pudding. High Kings picked up Panda. And Celtic Tigers picked up Nathan. Now, that is not the Superstar Panda. That is, I think the username is like Adnap or something. Not to worry. Panda is not rated that badly. But Nathan there in the third round for Celtic Tigers. Who can we talk about here? Dave, run me through your three picks here.
I'm just going to say, first of all, I hate Cans.
Wow.
Why?
You stole Captain Pudding from me.
Oh, wait.
I wanted my full Ulster team up there. But no, look, either way, Johnny. I actually really rate Johnny. He's very good. I've had him before on my team, so I can trust him. He's quite capable. Kismet, I think people are sleeping on him. Generally, like I think, to be honest, he is savage. I'm really surprised he wasn't picked up by Tom earlier, but I think the Alpha OG, as people might know more by, he is absolutely savage player. If him and Johnny can be firing on all cylinders, there's nothing that team can't do. And especially with Panda, he's been around for a while. I've seen him outside of RLI too. Bit of a sleeper pick, I think, and I think they have a very solid chance of doing very well in this tier.
Rory, I'm seeing a lot of slander in the Twitch chat now about your first round pick here, Luca, being picked over the likes of Ryan 404. Any response?
I mean, I think, Rob said it best. Literally in the two tournament yesterday, I think it was, himself and I think he was playing with Johnny, took a game off Shane. So, it's definitely not somebody to be looked down on. So, this tier and above is generally where my knowledge of players starts to get a bit wavy as is. So, this may not be my best picks, but I don't think it's that egregious of a pick at all, really.
Loving the confidence there from the Wolfhounds manager, Rory. We'll move on now to the final tier of them all, Superstar. This is where it all matters. This is where the marbles are made or lost. This is where the big moolah is. Vikings picked up Shark first. The Saints picked up Panda in the second round. Banshees picked up Yem, the OG. Celtic Tigers picked up Tomster, managed by himself, of course. Irish Giants picked up Lucapo. And Wolfhounds, managed by Rory, picked up Pukas in the first round of Superstar. Rory, run me through that Pukas pick.
So it's pretty much just picking up where I left also there. This is where my knowledge gets a bit iffy on players. So at this point, I was kind of just looking at ranks, and Pukas, I don't really know him, so I was like, he looks quite good here. I'll just take him. Why not?
Fair enough. Tom, thoughts on you being fourth pick in Superstar?
I think I've been done nicely. I don't really is anything much to say. My opinion, I think I could have been second pick in the whole tier, but I don't know how that's managed to happen, and I'm delighted with it.
It's your first time manager, Tom, but now's the time to actually show it that you can actually win this, yeah? No Shark on your team this time now, yeah?
All right.
Vikings are winning. Stop the draft.
How much did you pay for that?
Free of charge.
151. Sorry. Yeah, that's all.
Well, we'll move on to the second round of picks now. Starting on the other side with Wolfhounds. Picked up Shadow. And Irish Giants picked up Nuss. Celtic Tigers picked up Pow. The Banshees picked up Mayday and all other OG. The Saints picked up Waffle. And the High Kings picked up Quint. Some strong teams forming here, Rob. Now, what do we think of some of these lineups before we get to the third round?
So it's hard to answer that because you need to show the third round, right? But I rate Nuss very highly. He is slept on so much by most. Well, I don't know if he's actually really slept on, but I think I rate him. I rate him very highly. He the one LAN he played that I was at, he was very good. Pow is apparently a ones monster. I'm saying apparently because he did actually beat Shallow in one series in the All Ireland. He gave Rob a bit of a game. Waffle online is an absolute demon. Mayday in threes can be very good, and he's slept on in twos. Shadow I haven't seen too much of, and I haven't seen too much of Quint, but D Lynch sings his praises. So go through the third round, come back to me, and I'll finish. I'll finish up.
Well, let us do the third round then. D Lynch picks up himself to round out that roster. The Saints picked up Llama. The Banshees picked up Decomp. Celtic Tigers picked up SAM. Irish Giants picked up My Parable. And finally, we have Winter picked up. And that concludes the draft. Let us talk about some of these very, very spicy picks. Rory, what do you think, looking at your team compared to everyone else?
I think as you've gone through the last 3 times, same thing. This is not my forte of knowing players up here. I'm definitely the lowest ranked out of all the managers. So generally my my knowledge comes from the lower ranks. So I think I do well or do better down there generally, and up here is definitely where I start to struggle.
Fair enough. Cans, you have picked three interesting players. Do you think they have what it takes to beat the likes of Shark or Tom's team?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
No, I couldn't tell you. No, I think trees again is. I do this for everything. I focus so much on trees. I think solid. On that remark, Yem can take care of ones, I suppose. But they'd be handy at twos as well. Like Decomp as well can practice with Yem for the twos land. So that's a bit more. It's a bit more reason why I picked him. No, but he can be very good if he doesn't melt and he knows himself. If he melts, then that team is just gone. But I have confidence in him that he will just have the vibes in that team and will carry them. I think he will be the key player.
I like the logic. Tom, your full team looks strong enough, but there's other strong teams there as well. What do you think about your superstar team?
Very, very happy with it. To be honest, I don't know how I've managed to get that. Leaving SAM to be the 16th pick overall in Superstar, while a lot of people mightn't rate him, his ranks speak for themselves. I know, like you're leaving a 2K player down to the third round of Superstar, which I think is a bit crazy from some of the other managers, so they might have to reflect on that. I suppose teams that I think could definitely put it up to us would be Ryan's team for sure. Definitely when that came up there, I was kind of like, that's a very good team given the level of competition this year. I wouldn't rule Kansas team out either. I think Yam is obviously very good even nowadays. And Mayday is still pretty good. I think it just depends then on whether or not Decomp shows up, because he's fairly inconsistent to say the least. For Sharks team as well, I don't think he'll be too happy with it, but I think he's the type of player he'll suck it up for a season, because I think he does want to win, probably more than he lets on. So that team will be an interesting dynamic.
Strong words from Tom there. D-Lynch, do you have anything to say now that we can see the full team of yourself and Shark and Quint, and run through the superstar first before we get on to the others?
To be perfectly honest, it's an obvious first pick of the draft to pick Shark. I would have been trolling if I didn't. He's better twos player than anyone in that tier. He's a better ones player than anyone. He shouldn't lose a 1v1. Twos, I think 3v3, it really falls on my shoulders to if I can step up, to be honest, because I rate Quint in 3v3 extremely highly. Like he's competed at CRL Worlds. He's just a very good player, and when you have that ability, even if you're not the superstar carrying twos, you have Shark in your team for that. Like he'll be fine. So yeah, I think considering who was left in the third round, I think Quentin was just an absolute no-brainer in that second round for me to pick up.
Fair enough. Now, run me through some of your other teams. What tier are you most excited to manage? Is one of the lower tiers where you're going to be able to step in and like give them tips to improve, or are you happy to let them run on and then focus on maybe your higher tiers?
As funny as it sounds, he's on his villain arc. He's been drafted finally. I'm actually really excited for Protostar because they're the tier where you can actually help the most. If you can, like, at that tier, if you can teach them a tiny bit of rotations, it can go a long way.
Yeah.
And look, a lot of the other tiers, Ascending Star might have to step in. It's fairly unknown quantity. Kyo, very good player, so he'll be fine. The other teams all have like Johnny and Alpha. they're both they're both well-rounded, well-known. They're in here a lot. Same with Shooting Star with Vulcan Sark. They can kind of help their unknown third a bit, and won't have to do as much managing with them per se, but definitely a lot of exciting opportunities.
Yeah. What is there any team there that you think is maybe an underdog team that you're not sure about their possibilities, or you actually know their ability, and that other managers maybe don't?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, you.
Is there any team there that you think are the underdogs for you that will be a surprise to everyone else?
Oh, that's a good question. From based off current rank, I would have to say Soul/Flame and Shooting Star. He's currently 1600, so he definitely could be able to step up. But I think the biggest unknown per se could be Ascending Star. So people maybe not rating Kyo as to how I somehow got him in that pick. I think he should be definitely higher. So I think Kyo's a bit of a sleeper pick there, and he can definitely help, hopefully, boost their chances at winning Ascending Star.
Finally, what team do you have the highest hopes for, and where do you expect to finish in the overall standings?
Well, highest hopes for, that's a good question. In the overall standings, I would say I'd be happy with top three because, as we know, that's league play. League play, at the end of the day, as we learned from Mr. Frodiger Rory himself, means nothing. You can finish top of league play and not win a single tier. You finish bottom and also not and win a tier. Like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What tier am I most excited for? I'm most excited for Superstar, obviously. I'm really I'm very excited because obviously I'm playing with two amazing players. It's going to be an interesting season, especially with some very capable teams like Tom's team and Yem's team example. But All-Star, I think that's one team I'm very excited for because if Panda can be as good as I know he can be in that tier, they can do some serious damage.
Fair enough. Just before we move on, is there any additional comments you'd like to add before we do move on?
My additional comments is ye will all regret making fun of me. Ethan is on his villain arc. He will be in. He will do Protostar proud.
Well, with that, we will move on to the next manager, which is Ryan. Unfortunately, Ryan is not with us for the stream today. But earlier, I asked him a few questions, and for the first question, which is what tier are you most excited to manage, he said, to be honest, I kind of just let everyone do their own thing, and if anyone needs any help with anything, I am there. If I had to choose, I guess I'd say All-Star, since I'm playing in it. But generally, whoever gives me the least trouble and is on top of scheduling games, they'll be my favourite. For the second question I asked them, what do you think is an underdog team you've picked? He said, it's hard to know pre-draft before hearing everyone else's opinions, but I think my Shooting Star team are quite strong and one I'd be expecting to go quite far. Rob, I know we talked about this Jez, Fast, and John team a little earlier. But what do you think about Ryan's Shooting Star team and of course, all his teams in general?
I mean, I don't rate John. Sorry, John. Love you. Great person, not a good player. So I disagree with Rez completely earlier when he said that team was going to be very good. Fast and Jez can be, yeah, but not with John. John won't be able to keep up with the speed of the gameplay in that tier. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. But I don't think so. They'll be a good team, though, in 1s and 2s, I reckon. But I hate to be brutal. I think John might get found out. There's a lot of good players in that third round that are quicker.
That's fair enough. The last question I asked him was, where does he think he'll finish overall? And he said, I suppose everyone would say they expect to be sitting at the top come to the end of league play. Me, I don't personally care. League play is a means to an end, and come playoffs, that's when RLIS really starts. So it seems like he doesn't care about the overall points like Rory might. He cares about winning tiers, which is perhaps a bit better at the end of the day. Well, we'll move on now to the second longest running manager in Cans. Cans, are you excited about all these teams that you've picked? What are your favorite ones?
let me say, I'm excited to see what my shooting star team will definitely do, because I know Rob himself doesn't think he's a first rounder, but I think he does. Um, he's a bit like me. He just underplays himself. Like, he just talks himself down a lot, which I approve, because it makes people, not want you at all. But he can pop up and destroy the tier. I'm definitely looking forward to see how myself will play in All Star, because I do have a feel I'm going to get absolutely destroyed if I have to play a one game. I'm afraid to even attempt one. But I think of all the things, I'm really interested to see what the Pro Star is like. It's a new tier. Our lower ranked players will be bashing each other left, right, and center. It could be just like watching a bunch of bots play now. Apologies to all ye lower ranked players, but it's just something I just can't. I'm really excited about that tier of all tiers. Anyway.
Yeah, I can personally say I know I'm meant to be unbiased, but I just love every single one of your teams. Like they all have something funny about them. I think,
Yeah,
or
and I think I just
something
seen. I think I just seen. I just seen it in the Twitch chat. Basically, my org is basically become a retirement home for people's careers as well. So, so I think, but combined with myself and Rob, we probably have older than every other player combined. Possibly, you never know. But
I also want to say picking Touch in the second round in Rising Star, I think, is a snipe of the century. He has been cooking championship this month so far. Like, I'm telling you.
I can't
but
say
you
I
see,
can't say
you've
no
done
to an
yourself
OG
30 in
player.
because but you've done yourself 30 in because you picked Phil, and we haven't seen that fella play Rocket League, and I'd say literally
That'd
since
be
the
grand.
last RLIS. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Look, you know better than me.
Fair enough.
That'd be grand. Yeah, I know it doesn't mean.
Well, we'll move on from the Banshees onto the next one of Celtic Tigers, managed by Tomster. Tom, what are your favorite teams here? What tier do you think is strongest?
Well, look, I mentioned my hopes for my Superstar and All-Star team. I think the tier I'm looking forward to the most would definitely be my Superstar team. I think it's my best chance at winning this tier in the last 3 seasons, so I'm really looking forward to it. My All-Star team, Nathan being a third round pick, I think is I think it's scandalous, to be honest. The last pick of the whole draft, which is kind of mad because he probably is one of the best players in All Star. I definitely think I have a good chance of winning that as well. My shooting star team is a bit of an interesting one. I don't really have the greatest gauge on people's skills, so I was kind of looking at the tracker and the general consensus from people about these players. But I think Ronan AO will definitely be very good. A lot of people probably look at Magic and kind of look at it as a funny pick because he's not really great at 3v3. But he's one of the highest rate players in Shooting Star. So to have him in the third round, I think I've done really well there. Hopefully they can find form together. And I could see that being a contending team for that tier. Now with Ascending Star next, it's probably one of the tiers I'm looking forward to watch play because based off of the community's expectations of the team, will they be really bad? Will they be good? I think most people are expecting it to be a mid tier team, but I don't think so. I mean, I said it earlier. 2 previous Rising Star winners, paired with a fairly new unknown kid on the block. I think they'll be slept on, and I wholeheartedly think they've got a very good shot at winning. My Rising Star team is a bit interesting. All right. Look, it was the last tier I was drafting players in, so I didn't really know what I was going to expect. So I said I'd be a bit funny with it maybe. I think I've definitely won that tier in terms of player names. As you can see, Buttsnorkler 54 and Little Dutch Boy 9 is a bit of a combination. but their trackers looked good. And I seen Memphir in the chat even saying that like it's a very good team. To me, it's unknown. They look like good players. And I think um definitely a good chance of winning Rising as well. Obviously, not wanting to leave out Septic. Um, Again, his tracker did look good to me, and he's actively playing the game as well, which you kind of want from players like in the lower tier. You want them to be playing the game, being active. So yeah, and obviously a Protostar, I didn't really, I didn't get a roster to pick, but I think overall with the draft, I can't really complain. I'm really happy with my picks across the board, and yeah, I suppose I'm just looking forward to how this season of RLIS pans out. Like, there's a lot of love for it in the community. As you can see, like in the Twitch chat, in RLI general, even now, like everybody loves the draft stream, and yeah, I just hope everyone enjoys their teammates. Obviously,
Yeah.
some might more than others and whatnot, but yeah.
Yeah. I think personally, like all of your teams look very, very strong. But we'll move on now to the Irish Giants, led by Large Grady. Grady, unfortunately, not here with us tonight, so I'll throw instead to Rob. Rob, what are your thoughts on some of these teams? Because he's made a few interesting choices. If Rob's here with us at all.
No, I'm here. Sorry, just trying to
Cool,
find
cool.
the unmute button. I really like his superstar team. I think that's a really strong superstar team. Parable slept on a lot. Nuss is a great player in 2s and 3s, and Luca Poe, we saw the damage he did in the 1s. He almost took Rob Kieran out in the All-Ireland. He's a hell of a player. All-Star Epics is probably borderline too good for that tier. A lot of people are talking up Sosa. I've just made my opinion on him clear there in general chat, but he didn't have a good Corkland, so I think a lot of the managers were thinking about that. And to be fair, I would be thinking about that too if I was a manager. No idea who this Techno Season guy is. Grady talks up big about TGM. Product I just played there in a Champo 6-mans earlier. He played very well. Pat, if he's playing the game any bit at all, that is worse than the Nathan pick in All Star. Honest to God, like, because Path is like probably a 3rd round All Star level, and he's in Ascending Star as a 3rd round pick. So we'll find out. And in Proto Star, he's got the best 1st round pick. Doc has been tearing up Champo. And yeah, I don't know the other two guys, so I can't comment.
Well, very nice teams, I think, across the board for Grady. He'll be happy with them. We'll move on to the Wolfhounds finally. And Rory, are you beating the Fraudiger allegations this season?
I think it could be a very mixed bag for my teams. To be completely honest, I'm quite happy with my Rising Star, Ascending Star, and Shooting Star. Even to a degree, I think my All Star could be a bit of a sleeper team depending on how they go. But yeah, as I said, Shooting Star, Ascending Star, Rising Star, I'm quite happy with. Yourself and CK, I was surprised that you were even still available at that point. So that was kind of a no-brainer for me to get you two in there. Yeah, my All Star, I think Luca might be slightly slept on. So that team, I think we just have to give it a chance. Let it cook a little and see how that goes. Obviously, I've already seen the Superstar team. Yeah, that is it's a team. So we'll see how they do. I don't have any expectations for them. So if they do any sort of any sort of good result, I'll be happy.
Well, maybe myself and CK might need a bit of the LTX Academy coaching, because I know we're pure dirt, but I like some of your other teams. Rez, do you have maybe any comments on some of these teams?
Yeah, yes, unfortunately I do, and Rory, I'm sorry to say they're not particularly good comments, because I look across the board here, to be honest, and I do slightly wonder what's going on. In Superstar, there's players like Nuss still available, but you've gone for Pukas and Shadow. In All-Star, you've got the whole of the Celtic Tigers roster still on the table when you're doing this draft, but you don't pick any of them. You look down at Ascending Star and you've picked Artemis, who has vocally come out and said he really doesn't want you to pick him. And then I look down at Rising Star and I'm just seeing pure vibes. So, what's going on, fella?
It's like I said, it's a mixed bag. I do like torturing Artemis a little bit, so that one I had to myself. But it's like I said at the time, I'm giving him the chance to give it back to me now. I'm on his team, so he can yell at me all he wants, give out to me about the team, or on the off chance that we do quite well, he might actually end up being quite happy this time. So hopefully it's the latter in that case.
Prodiger is all I say.
we'll see about this at the end of the season. But no, it's like I said, I think it's a mixed bag. I think my lower end, the tiers, have the potential to do quite well. So yeah, we'll see how it is by the end of league play.
You reckon you'll be able to match your performance from league play last season, where you took the top spot, or is that a dream?
I don't think it'll be quite top spot. You have to be consistent across all tiers for that, which luckily I was last season. But this year, I don't think all 5 tiers are going to be up at the top, but I don't think it's going to be the bottom either.
That sounds like a lack of confidence to me. I mean, if we go through the other managers in the call, let's jump over to Tom. Tom, do you have confidence that your teams can win it all?
Definitely. Anyway, based off who I've picked, yeah, I definitely think I can win. I'd like to say 4 out of the 5 tiers I'm in. I think I'd be disappointed if I didn't come away with at least 2 or 3, which is quite a bold statement for someone in their first season managing. But I think I've done really well, and I'm looking forward to how the season pans out. Whether or not I will eat my comments or I will reap the rewards of drafting some excellent teams.
There you go, Rory. That's confidence, but not ego. Perhaps a little bit more of that needed, but Yummy, I'll hand back to you.
Thank you, Rez. Any more comments from any of the managers? Anyone want to jump in and have their say before we
stir up a
go to
rivalry?
Yes. Rob, do you want to maybe have your overall comment at all, being not a manager this season? But
well, we got great numbers, didn't we? 96
yeah,
people, 93 Irish. That's a record. It's going to be one hell of a competition out there. 6 tiers. There's a lot of good teams. I don't agree with Tom. I don't think he's going to win 4 of the 5. I don't know if he'll win 2 of the 5. It sounds like Nathan was a sleeper pick because I have been told he has been banned on his main account, and that wasn't the one he submitted as his tracker. So suspect at best, but that's the person you're going to have to deal with there when you're managing that team. I think here, will I give you my picks right now of who's going to win each tier? How about that?
Go on.
Yeah, Shark's going to carry D-Lenge to win Superstar because Shark is that good, in my opinion. Right? All-Star, I can't look past Ryan, so Freeze, Ryan, and Cookie are going to win it just because Ryan always wins All-Star, I feel like. I mean, he just always wins it, right? Shooting Star, I think for once I might back myself to win that one.
Robert.
Yeah, let's go, Cans. Thank you. Ascending Star, I need to look through the teams very quickly. I think because if Pathological can get good internet down, I think he carries that tier. He's too good for that tier. It's worse than the Nathan pick in All-Star. Pat was like a kind of not too far off like Evoke levels when Evoke was at his peak. Like I don't know how he's ended up in that tier. In Rising Star, I think you guys, Yummy, will win. I think.
I don't know.
I have no idea how good Melty Crispy is, but I think you guys can. Well, actually, no, CK Trolls. I'm going to give it to Cans. King Casual. Actually, no, Dangerous Gamers on that team. I'm going to give it to Tom, actually. That's going to be another one. That's going to be one of Tom's wins. Yeah. And then Protostar, Ethan's team is not winning because Ethan's on the team. J-Fang, no. And Dave Forehead and Kotzi on a team. They'll probably kill each other by the end of the season, so I'm going to give it to Grady. So, yeah.
Forehead's winning. I don't care if I'm back against my own team. We'd all love Forehead to win. Can we all agree that?
Great Forehead to win, but he won't win. He'll probably come last.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, very confident that Forehead will lose. Unfortunately, I rate him maybe to win Protostar, maybe not Rising Star. Depends how much he's played. I don't know how many hours he has now. He might be up to 4K or 5K by now. But thank you very much, everyone, for tuning into the draft stream. I think it's been a very successful draft in terms of numbers and in terms of hype. We can wait to see if it's RLIS will be a success in terms of competitiveness and in terms of good crack. But that is all to come over the next 6 or so weeks. I am, or is it 7 weeks or something? I don't know. Anyway, over the next few months. Anyway, I'm very, very excited to see some of them. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in. I have been Yummy Uranium. Make sure to sign up to LTX Academy Coaching to get better at Rocket League. I know a lot of you need it. LTX Samuel.
Brutal, Yummy.
With that.
If you need it. I will say, Sam's a great guy for helping us out. He's been very supportive of the community recently. Props to Sam. Lads, go out, check out his stuff. He can educate even SSL players, so please look at his stuff. You can probably learn something from him. He's a great player. I mean, he's actually an all-star, so he still got it, even though he literally has hands that don't function, apparently. He still got it, so there you go. Yeah, like, come on, Yummy. Are you excited? Are you excited?
I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited. This is going to be one hell of a season. Thank you all for signing up. Thank you all for tuning in. And I will see you all out there on the pitch.